pace, crash hard, heartbeat sink. This that show that make you think. Under them lights, we don't play, we ball. From the small town fields to the big state calls. We talk rivalries, legends, up next kings. Breakdowns, hot takes, all them rings. Turn it up, don't miss this drive. Texas high school dreams, so loud, so loud, so loud. You tune in now, right that way. This the part they crave every Friday. Welcome to the show where the big hits roll. Texas under lights, we talk hard, we talk slow. From the first snap hype to the last play glow. It's Friday night, lights, let's go. Woo! Let's get old, let's get old, hey. Let's get old, let's get old, let's get old, hey. Woo!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another incredible episode of Between the Hashes, your Texas high school football podcast. We have a great show tonight lined up for you. Mr. R.L. Martin, my co-host, has got us a very special guest lined up tonight. R.L., I'll let you do the honors, my man, of introducing your guest.
As usual, thank everybody for watching and tuning in with us. Make sure you pass it on, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also,
Yes.
the website.
Yes.
The
Brand
website
new
is up
website.
as well. Brand new
Brand new.
website is up as well. All the teams in Texas are listed on there. It's a lot of neat stuff that we got going on. We'll have to get Mr. Tech Savvy to talk more about that in one of the episodes. You got to tell them about how they can click on there and everything that we do. Their
Yep.
school will be mentioned and yeah, all
Yep.
that stuff. But
Yep.
first thing I want to do, and this is how I was telling myself earlier, I wanted to start this off. This here is my brother in Christ, first and foremost. I met this man a few years ago on the sidelines at a high school football game in San Antonio. I call him the man, the myth, the legend. Here in the San Antonio area, anything dealing with high school football, this is the man that is known the most. So without further ado, we want to bring in the man, the myth, the legend from Along the Wire and Alamo Audio. This is Mr. Brandon Holland, otherwise Beat 'em on.
What's up,
Thank
man?
y'all so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Absolutely.
appreciate you being here, brother. Appreciate it.
It's a blessing.
Sharing a little bit with us. You know, we just happy to be in your world.
Sweet.
Yeah,
We just
this
happy
is
to be in your world, man.
this is B. Damone's world. We just happen to be having you on the show
you know,
to
we
live
just,
in
we
it.
just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you could, real quick, right before we started recording this episode, we were kind of talking about your wife and it's the Hall of Fame game is
Mhm.
going on right now, and we just kind of talking about how y'all met. Pretty funny story. Why don't you tell everybody how you guys met? It's awesome.
So we met through friends, but our first conversation that we had, of course, we're talking about, where are you from? And, she told me she grew up in Pasadena, and I was like, over by Houston? She's like, yeah. And then automatically, what's your favorite football team? She says the Texans. And I was like, okay. So then she gave me the information that her first jersey was an Earl Campbell jersey. And of course, me being a Longhorn fan, I was,
You were
you
like,
know, like she had me at hello at that point,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It was definitely one of those. So,
Love it first football
there's
conversation.
exactly. Talk about chemistry.
That's right. That's right, man. That's how you know you've married the right one. Whenever the first words out of her mouth is, "I'm a Texans fan," or in my
Right.
case, "I'm a Cowboys fan." Tell me more about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Well, man, welcome to the show. We're really glad to have you. Let's get this thing kicked off, RL. I know you guys want to focus and cover San Antonio high school football team. So that's the purpose of tonight's show, is to shed some light on the players, the programs, and the communities around San Antonio. So RL, kick it to you, man. What you got?
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted everybody to do is, for those that don't know Brandon Beat 'em on, tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, who is it that you've worked with? I know you've been with Rivals and UT and all of that. Just give us a little rundown of your bio.
Originally, I come from Houston, Texas. I moved to San Antonio during my 8th grade year and went to Holmes and graduated from West Campus. How I got involved in football recruiting, the University of Texas was recruiting my cousin, Jaron McVeigh, state champion from George Ranch High School back in 2016, and he had some players on the squad that I made Texas aware of just through him. Um, and that's really how that part started. That got me intrigued into recruiting, period. But then, make a long story short, I happened to be around a couple of players, family members, and gave them some information, flipped that player from Nebraska to Texas. Then they're recruiting my best friend's nephew, got some information at Oregon to Texas. In July 5th, 2017, Coach Herman and Coach Orlando reached out to my play cousin EJ Holland at Horns 247 at the time, and asked about me, and watched a couple of my episodes of the podcast and figured I knew what I was talking about, and asked if I wanted to be a insider. So they got me on at 247. So shout out to Coach Herman and Coach Orlando. And then once Traylor got here to UTSA, the Cardinals reached out, and I've been helping cover UTSA ever since. And now with Rivals being gone, I'm at Alamo Audible now. So that was been since 2017
Wow.
officially. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You
was always
never-
intrigued about that because you was at the games and you was covering in. It was, you were covering with the UT stuff then. And I just wanted everybody to know, how it has progressed through the
Right.
years and how he's gotten to this point because, if you look on the sideline, and the guys always do, they look on the sideline and they see the chain. They know it's an official game because that man is on the side. That man is on. He wears the chain, so they always look at the chain. If you see that chain blinging on the sideline, it's like,
You know it's real.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's him. Let me show out. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
kick it off with a couple questions. We're gonna kick it off,
Okay.
and just the lay of the land for the night. We're going to we'll start with a couple questions, and then we'll go into covering 4A Division 1 and 5A Division 2. We'll cover those, and then we'll go into some more questions because we got some good ones for you.
Okay.
We got some good ones for you, and then after we have that, the next set of questions, then we'll go in and cover 5A Division 1, and then we will cover the meat and potatoes. Shout out Hammer. We're gonna cover the meat and potatoes, which will be 6A.
RL, just for you this time, no caveats.
No caveats.
No caveats.
Got it. Got it.
All right.
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to ask you, let's see which question we're going to go with first. Well, we already covered that question there, so that's knocked out. Now, when watching a Friday night game, what is it that you're looking for, either in general or for a certain prospect that you're watching? So I don't know, either you're watching and you're just looking like when I go, there's a certain players that I know and I'm watching them, but I'm also looking for who else is going to stand out. What is it that you look for? Because I know there's games you come and you're actually covering just a specific player.
Right. So just given whatever the task is, it just depends on the school that I'm covering for at the time. Of course, UTSA, Texas, but with the network of people, you just happen to know you're going to be looking at several different players. But outside of that, what I'm looking for is that second, third person on the depth chart. Like, when they get in and in different moments of the game, I'm looking for guys who have size, who aren't the starter, watching how players move. But then also, secondly, but firstly, I'm watching at different key moments of the game, like the conversation that we had earlier. I'm looking on the sidelines to see if that player or players are in tune with what's going on in the game, attitudes, facial expressions, different things like that. Because I could think of something on the field, but then I take everything into account. And the first time I have a conversation with a kid, it may not be about actually a performance, but just like a parable about moments or something like that, So that's basically what I'm looking at is the second, third level guys, because you already know the names, and if the names go off, then that's what they do. But guys who step up like what's his name? Now it's missing me. At Johnson, their
Justice?
third, yeah, Justice, exactly. Like a kid like that, when they have a standout performance, like he did versus Reagan, or when Crawford made the heady play of like getting out of bounds and in the last second, certain things like that. That's things that stand out to me that'll keep me on the player for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
That's awesome. So we're
Adam, you
talking
want to
about
hit him with one of yours?
yeah. So talking about recruiting, so much has changed in recruiting over your time. Handling recruiting for different colleges and putting kids' names out there. With NIL, things have changed even more dramatically. Transfer portal is once again changed the game. You've got kids that are committing earlier and earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How has all of that impacted recruiting for San Antonio athletes compared to, say, 5 years ago?
So I'm so glad you asked that question because this is what I have. I'm gonna go back to my top 10 from 5 years ago, right?
Yep.
Not all 10 names, but these are the schools that they were committed to, right? You got a walk-on at UTSA, Arkansas State, UTSA, Air Force, and Sam Houston State.
Mm.
That's 2021.
Wow.
Go to this morning, Oklahoma, UTSA, Ohio State, A&M, Texas, Iowa State.
Wow.
So I say that because I feel like the talent is now taking advantage of where everybody in the past has raised them up to. Because RL, you'll know these names for sure. That's Trey Moore, Lucas Coley, Wyatt Beagle, D. Anthony Lewis, Ty Reasoner, and Shane Johnson. You got a couple of those players that are in the NFL.
Yeah.
So now that they've done that, they've done their part. You have these bigger schools coming down.
Right.
But as far as like NIL and the recruiting and the pressure to commit earlier, I think it's been so sped up. I think ever since maybe about 2024, you're starting to have your now I'll use the example of the 20 your kids are trying to commit now
Yeah.
before the next season starts. When it used to be you had the summer and you were going to go all the way up until signing day.
Yeah.
And only the very few players actually use signing day for the signing day and might be verbally committed, but aren't necessarily all in. They just have their spot and they're still, playing the game. And unfortunately, it is a game because you have to worry about the positioning. Schools are going to continue to recruit. I love the new 5-for-5. That does help high school football. So it's really just been sped up, but as far as and money just throws everything off to me.
Yeah.
I want the kids to get as much, but I also want the people around the kids to be able to show them how to use it as a tool and not as a dangling carrot. So that's really where I see it as, because now, the school's new move is, hey, this money has an expiration date on it.
Yeah.
And now, if you don't commit, or if you aren't in the boat by this time, or the communications haven't changed by a certain date, then we got somebody who might be a little bit less. And then if that little bit less, if the talent is too low, they'll scrap the whole position and wait until the transfer portal opens up.
Yep.
Just what you saying that, I saw that just last year, and it was like you got a D1 that offers you a certain amount of money. You got a D2 that offers you a certain amount of money. You know that's going to be far less because of the programs. But like you said, that expires. That D2, they have a date on it as well because of the transfer portal.
Yep.
Okay,
And
we're offering you. We're looking at you, and you don't want to accept it. Okay, well, let's go look over here, and we're going to look at this guy as well.
Right.
So let me tag a question onto that. So, how do you see it affecting athletes that, with the pressure to commit earlier and earlier each year, the athletes that may be a little undersized have a ton of talent? How do you see it affecting the athletes that are, still growing or still maturing, but also feeling that pressure? Hey, I got to go now because this offer,
Right.
you know,
Really dependent, and I have a couple of names in my head, so I'm gonna just use them as a reference mentally. I'm not gonna say their names, but you have kids who have one or two offers from schools that might not necessarily even be considered at the G5 level, but it is Division 1, right? And
Yeah.
if that's what you have right now, you should commit, because that's you getting on the boat for something that you've earned already, and
Yeah.
and it just gets to a point where a school will look at the kid's offer list and realize if they haven't committed yet, then there's still something more that they want. It's just an overall tell as in to what's going on with you and your situation. And then it also lets that school that has offered you and does want you and is putting time and effort into you, it lets them know that they aren't enough. So you've got to be really mindful of what you want and really get down to, like we were saying before, we came on, people's next level is your next level.
Yeah.
If you're thinking that you're D1, you're like, I'm Ohio State, I'm Texas, I'm Oregon, and that's what you think of D1. But then when you get, other schools who offer you, who are Division I schools, but you
Yeah.
might have never heard of the town that they're in, but it's Division I. And then all of a sudden, it's like, maybe I don't want to play college football. It's like, well, then that's not necessarily what your love is about the game then. So, you want to stay away from jerseys can be motivating. I get it. But if that's all you're playing for, then you're going to be going through stuff in college where that's not going to be enough.
Yep. Very well said. That's great. All right, man. Thanks for answering those first couple questions.
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump into 4A Division I, RL.
We're gonna start off, man, with 14 4A Division I. 14 4A Division I. Creekview, Floresville, Kennedy, Lavernia, Pleasanton, Somerset, Uvalde. So I've never been one to like to stir the pot or anything like that. But
Yeah, right.
but
Stir away.
and I'll say this from the beginning. Dave Campbell's has it. Beat them on. They have it. Lavernia, Somerset, Floresville, Uvalde. I don't object. But I do want to point out, I want to get your take on who you've got, but give us your take on an athlete that I don't think a lot of people know about, Malachi Iverson.
That's one of my players that I was going to actually mention in the when you said name 3 to 5 players. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Malachi Iverson is one of those athletes that over 1,000 yards and 19 touchdowns.
In case y'all don't know, that's a
last
receiver
year.
at Somerset.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Receiver at Somerset.
You said
6'1",
19
100.
touchdowns?
19 touchdowns
Oh.
on 51 catches. 51 catches, just under 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Wow.
6'1", 190 pounds, 4.48 speed, 10.600. This is a kid, he's got every offer from or a offer from every conference. He's got Kentucky, he's got Texas State, he's got Baylor, so he's got Pac Big 12 SEC offers. But this is a kid who's barely scratching the surface of what he can do. This is a kid who knows the position but is still learning the position. He's raw, he is an athlete, and he's just a ultimate competitor, honestly. Thankfully I've been able to be around him a little bit in this summer and spring. And been able to see he's physically, he's everything from the look of a Division I receiver, athlete, period. He takes care of himself. And I think that this is a kid who is still going to be taking the top off of defenses this year. He's going to have an extensive route tree that he's going to get better at and be able to hit a home run after he catches the ball, because there's not many players, especially in that district, who are going to be able to hold him.
Exactly.
What class is he in?
2028.
2028. Wow.
Yeah. And with
So
you
he's got 2
stepping
more
into
seasons.
that, yeah, he got 2 seasons left, and he is a specimen. He is a specimen. With you saying that, we kind of went into it. How do you see the layout for this district?
Well,
As he
Remember, you
takes a
still
seat.
got to be invited to the games.
nah, I mean, honestly, I definitely agree with that. But given whatever the situation is going to be regarding Lavernia and their overall team, I'd switch Somerset above Lavernia until everything shakes out to how it's going to shake out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my caveat, right there.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Still got to play the
but-
games.
So yeah, so I would switch Somerset and Lavernia until the dust settles. I totally agree with everything. I like Floresville too. That's going to be a district that if Somerset puts things together how it looks like their team is going to be, then they could run away with that district. They really could, because they've got players at the right positions and can put pressure. The fact that and I hate that I'm whiffing on his name, because that's another receiver on their squad that we haven't talked about who has a very high ceiling as well, a 2029 receiver,
Who? Shamar? Shamar Nichols?
Shamar, who is just the size of Cam Coleman at
Wow.
Texas. So
6'3". They have him listed 6'3", 180.
yes,
And he's a 2029 at 6'3".
he's a 2029, and so
Wow.
and the fact that these young men are going to be playing multiple spots. It's not only offense, but you're also going to be having them on special teams, and both of these kids have it. So, and then Malachi's got a younger brother that I'm told is just as nasty. So I look forward to seeing him as well. He's a 2029 as well.
Wow. So y'all heard it. That's what the district was. I know that's what I had as well. I want to see how it all pieces together because I think that battle really it can be a three-way battle. But and I said this previously on the show. When I'm looking at it, and it's teams that I haven't seen a lot, but I've watched them how they went through the season. I look at how many they've got coming back, and they're pretty much even. Lavernia and Somerset's pretty much even. I think Lavernia had 6 coming back on offense, 3 on defense. Somerset has 7 on offense and 6 on defense. Now, Uvalde didn't have the best season, but they were there. With that district, they were 4 and 6 last year, and they're returning 6 on offense, 7 on defense. So I think Floresville has got to step up in there to make that third spot. But I think there's going to be a battle there. And like you said before, it's Lavernia, it's Somerset, Lavernia. I would actually edge Uvalde over Floresville, but I do like the Floresville team. I do like Drake over there.
Yeah.
At Floresville. If he's got the pieces and they get a defense together and everything, they've got the quarterback that can actually put them in that third spot to fight. So that's 14 4A, Division 1. Let's go over to 13 4A, Division 1. Yeah. Now, these are some teams that are spread out around the San Antonio area on basically, I would say, well, you can say like on the outskirts. They're still right there, considered in the San Antonio area. We got Canyon Lake, Davenport, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Tivy, Austin LBJ, Northeast, Travis, and Taylor Ducks. What you got?
Davenport, Austin LBJ, Austin LBJ, Tivy, and Canyon Lake.
Let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on Tivy? They've had a couple of down years. Do you think they're kind of coming up again?
I wish when I saw them they were down because they were beating the crap out of Sam Houston when I went to the game, and I was highly mad about it. So, but they've got a quarterback that transferred from TMI over there. So I'm looking forward to keeping an eye on them because he had a very good year at TMI last season. Hagen Young, I believe, is his name, if I'm not mistaken. So whenever you get a quarterback, and they've actually had quarterbacks there. Their former quarterback is at it's Tivy, so everybody knows who you should be very happy about.
I'm very happy about that name, Mr. Manziel.
So I'm really interested to see how he can do with them over there because I forget the receiver number 5 they had last year who was just taking the top off of everybody because he had 4 touchdowns in the first half versus Sam Houston, and I was like, they're just
Kyron. Was that Kyron?
I think so.
Kyron Armland.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested in speaking of him, and my brother from another. He always points this out that I always lean toward defense.
He does.
Sam Barber, that defensive end over there. I want to see how he fares this year. He's got the size.
Exactly how you said about this district. I was looking at it and I'm like, a part of me was like, is this even San Antonio?
Yeah.
It's just it's just so spread out. But I like Davenport, and we had talked about Davenport earlier.
Yes.
Davenport, I love them versus Austin LBJ. I like this mix-up of the district because there's a lot of different styles and ideologies in it. So there's literally no type of offense that you won't see outside of this district.
Right.
So I think that makes it for some fun matchups and maybe some upsets or some close games to where, even when you see Davenport, as powerful as I believe that they can be, speed can negate a lot of stuff. And I've
Yep.
seen Austin LBJ do that
LBJ,
too
yeah.
much. Their former coach is now up at UT. They have several players who have made it to the NFL. So it's not like they don't have the talent there. And they just got a running back from San Antonio up there too, so they got more speed.
Austin
got-
LBJ has got that historically. They've been known for speed
Always, yeah,
everywhere.
always.
Mhm.
And they've got a beast over there, running back Marquise Murray. Marquise. I've been high on him for a few years since he was a freshman, incoming freshman. I saw him at a camp there. But going to Davenport, as you were saying, I think it is Davenport and LBJ. Tyvee got to get things rolling, get everything back
Right.
together. So with Davenport, the pieces that they have at Davenport with that quarterback they've got there,
Torres
Torres over there, and Josh Johnson,
Mhm.
DB over there that I'm high on at Davenport.
Also
I
played
think-
receiver.
Yes, also plays
Yeah.
receiver, and he can take the top off as well. So it's some players over there to look at, and of course here I am back to defense again. Nolan Brown is a 6'2", 200-pound linebacker over there at Davenport with 96 tackles. So that there defense coming back, they are returning 7 on offense and 4 on defense. LBJ is returning 4 on offense and 7 on defense. I think that game is going to be a monster game when they play each other. I think it'll have district title written all over it.
It is, and that was actually the last game that I was looking at before you sent me the message for the show. So that's one of those games that you might just have to go to just to go to.
Like we were saying, the schedule is fluid.
Mhm.
We put the schedule together, but hey, it's fluid because that may
Yeah.
be one we might
Exactly.
we might have to look at.
Exactly. Shout out Coach Fenner too, the old LBJ coach.
Got it. All right, next we're going to jump into 5A now. We're going to go 14 5A District 2. 14 5A District 2. This here is the most historic district in San Antonio. This is SAISD. This is SAISD. And this year we had a couple changes in there. We got Brackenridge out from San Antonio, and I'm from the east side, so it's Brack. We got Brack, Burbank, Edison. Harlandale jumps in this district.
Mhm.
Highlands, Jefferson, go Owls, Lanier, McCullum, and the Sam Houston Hurricanes. So I'll start this off by Dave Campbell's predictions. Dave Campbell's predictions is Harlandale, Sam Houston, McCullum, and Burbank. What's your take, B. Damone?
Did you see his eyes?
We
'Cause he
spoke about
knows.
this.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've
What's
got
your
3
take?
of those. I've got 3 of those 4 up there.
You have a surprise entry?
I'm gonna go Harlandale, Sam, Burbank, Lanier.
Well, yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that too, and that's exactly what would be my pick as well. Because I just like I like how with
I might
Harlandale
need to check out that Burbank versus McCullum game.
Yeah,
That could,
yeah,
I mean, those side-on-side games.
yeah. See, and that's the thing.
So,
A lot. I don't know if it was played out that way or what, but there's a lot of Thursday games for SAISD. A lot of
y'all
Thursday
starting to
games.
look like DFW with Thursday games.
That cuts me out because I work on Thursday night, so I can't do it. I don't have the pull. I don't have that clout yet. Like this man, where I can go and be like, look, hey, I'm taking 3
What?
months. I ain't working Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, but it's a lot of good games. When I looked at the schedules, a lot of good games that are happening on Thursday that I'm gonna miss. And I have it Harlandale, Sam. I had Lanier, and I had McCullum because I just like the way Harlandale and Lanier play. I love the discipline that Harlandale has, and Lanier's always one. They're so hard-nosed, and I think a lot of teams, well, in the district they don't because they can't look them over, but they have some pieces that they put together, and they always can rack up some points on you.
Exactly. I feel like that's the team in the district that's like, we know everybody's number and we'll call it when we need to.
Yeah, yeah. So I think
They're
that's what it's
always
going to be.
around. They're always around with everybody. Nobody That's a team in that district that's like nobody's looking at that game like you can overlook it at all. But yeah, they're the same school that looks at everybody that same way. That's why they're always around. I've never been like this team's not going to be focused when it comes to district. Like they might, hit their heads when it comes to outside of district, but that's what your schedule's for. You want to test yourself outside,
Yeah.
but then when it comes to district, they lock in, and they're going to be one of those four.
And because these teams there's a lot of rivals inside
Mhm.
this district. It's a lot that goes on during the season to where it's like some people call it an upset, but it's like, did they overlook this team where they just didn't come out ready to play and the other did? Because one team that I mean the stats don't show it, but one team that I do not count out is Brack. Brack always plays people hard. They always play people hard to where they make a good game for them. And there's a player in this district that I don't want to mention him if he's in your 3 to 5 players. Is he in your
No,
3 to
he's
5
not.
players per later? Okay.
I have nobody.
Then I want you to go ahead and talk about what player in this district do you think stands out?
Oh, I thought you were going to say his name.
No, I want you to say his name. It means more when it comes from B. Damone. Everybody listens to Along the Wire. When he says it, what's that?
And now, because I know I told him to you, and now I am
Devontae Riley.
Highlands, Devontae Riley. Aggressive DB, 6 feet tall, good frame, can play both sides. But you know, certain kids just super stand out to you, and you can see like, man, there's nobody else like this kid in this district. And also, like I said, he stands out for the district, and there's probably only one other school that has a player like that, and that's at Sam Houston. But I think, this kid put in the right positions, kind of how you were talking about Jaden, maybe not to that extent of Jaden, but
Yeah.
I think that because I think he would just be a little bit more tested if he took on the role like Jaden. I'm not sure if he's that type of athlete, but I definitely think that he is he tilts the scales for Highlands being on the field, period.
Yeah. He's one of the players and he just mentioned him to me. He's at my alma mater, but he just mentioned him to me. So I have not dug deep into how I do the other players and looking at their film. I'm going to do an evaluation sheet on him because once I saw him, Adam, as we talked about all the time, you see that player that's on the field and you already see that he's at this level,
Another level.
and everybody else is here. That's Devontae Riley, and he stood out that way. And he's just talented. He's talented, and if he feel like you said 6 feet, what they have him? They have him 6 feet.
I was about to say
They have 5'10", 155.
155.
If he fills in with the talent and everything that he has, and I think this year could be a calling card to other teams, to other college teams looking at him and be like, hey, I deserve a better look at what's going on. I think that's the type of player that he is. That's Devontae Riley over at Highlands.
What class
And the
is he
thing
in?
about it is, and what can get kids recruited as well, especially if you come from a district or a school that doesn't normally, get that notoriety or traction from colleges. Do your job and give effort.
Yep.
Do your job and give effort. That stuff pops out on film.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be a placebo, but you're doing what you're supposed to do, and positive things come out of that effort and doing your job. Positive things come out of it.
And too many times I've seen it, and I hate to say it, but I see it to where those caliber athletes will play down to the competition.
Right.
No, you're messing stuff. No, show your domination. Dominate. Every time that person is in front of you, dominate that person. And I think he can do that. And I think to shift it a little bit is you've got some players over at Sam Houston that have that type of, well, no, they're not at his level yet, but you've got some good athletes over at Sam Houston that if they play at their level, they could be up there battling Harlandale, if not beating Harlandale for district. But it's just got to come together. They've got a new coach, new philosophy, new system. All of that's got to come in to play with Sam Houston, but they have the athletes that just got to buy in. If they buy in and put their head down and work and stay dedicated to football, I think it's going to be. They got some pieces over there that will look good. I know one of them was on your list.
Gardner.
My godson as well, Tristan
Yeah.
Zachary's over there.
Yeah.
And I just talked to him just the other week. You know, you got to turn it up. You got to focus in on it. And if you want it, if you really want it, you've got to show it. Show it on the field.
I think I got him into a game last year. I'm definitely going to put him on
Yeah.
the
he was at a
list
UTSA game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What we got now? We've got 13-5A. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Adam, this district right here will make you pull some hair out. This district right here will make you
I don't
This
have
is
any
the
hair to
district.
pull out.
This
Hey,
is the district.
you get some
Start pulling my
tweezers,
beard.
man. You gotta get some tweezers and just this one here, Alamo Heights, Bernie, Legacy Ranch, which is a new school, first year varsity.
Right.
Liberty Hill, Long Creek, New Braunfels, and Veterans Memorial. That started off. Dave Campbell's has this district: Bernie, Alamo Heights, Liberty Hill, and New Braunfels. I'll let you do your take because I've already given mine on yours before.
I think
I didn't have Alamo Heights at number 2. I said I think they lost. I think they lost too much to where I think they're still a playoff team, but I don't think they're at number 2. And remember, you said, okay, yeah, you ain't gonna get invited to the games. Yeah, this is one of those, and I just feel that way. Alamo Heights,
my challenge to Alamo Heights this season is do not finish third.
Do not finish third.
That's my challenge to Alamo Heights. They have stuff going for them. They got stuff going against them. You're in a new district with people that are looking you eye to eye now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not going to be, I am the most talented program. I've got the coaching. Y'all still have the coaching, of course.
They do.
But man, you are in a district. You are in a district. You are with schools that are coming down, schools that are coming up, schools with tradition, schools that you have a history with. And it's not going to be what it was. Right now, if Alamo Heights wins this district, this is a feather in their cap that would be better than what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
If you win this district,
because
New
of where
Braunfels
you've
is
come
not
from.
a slouch.
Yeah. Nope. Not at all.
We know they have the history with Liberty Hill.
I like Bernie in this district.
You like Bernie? Yeah.
Bernie's going to be good this year.
Bernie is Bernie.
I love this district.
It's a good
this district.
Liberty Hill's got some good talent.
And you've also got, like I said, you've got Legacy Ranch. They're new, so they've got to come in and they've got to make their name. They got to make the name. To me, they got to make a name for yourself. It's like the new kid in school. You want to come in and, okay, well, you can't hang with the cool kids till you prove something. They've got to come in. They got to prove something to come in here. And the district that they're coming into,
Because think about it. And I was watching some highlights of Anthony Hill. You remember the linebacker from Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Played his high school ball at Denton Ryan.
And you know who Denton Ryan lost to? New Braunfels.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So this is a school that has players still from that team now are seniors. So you being Alamo Heights, you have a team that's played teams that are perceived to be bigger and better than what you are, Alamo Heights. So now that's in your district. I'm looking at these 4 teams that we said. Bernie was 13-2 last year. New Braunfels was 11-3 last year. Alamo Heights was 12-2 last year. Liberty Hill 9-3. All those are playoff records. When's the last time Alamo Heights was in a district with multiple teams with at least 9 wins? I'll go back and check, and y'all can clip this.
It's over 4.
9 wins. Multiple teams with 9 wins.
Over 4 years, maybe? Mike was there how long? 4 years?
Yeah, he was there all 4 years.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years or more.
So would you say this is Would you say this is a district of doom?
This is the district of doom for San Antonio because these games are going to be so good. There's no other district where the top 4 teams might step on everybody else except each other.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to anybody else in the district. It's just
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you pretty much got Bernie. Bernie's standing on top.
I got Bernie on top.
Bernie's on top.
I got New Braunfels second, and I got Alamo Heights third, and I got Liberty Hill fourth.
So you have Alamo Heights over Liberty Hill?
And that is my San Antonio bias. That is my San Antonio bias.
Yeah.
But much respect to Liberty Hill, of course.
Well, I will shout out, first of all, I shout out right now who I label as the best quarterback in San Antonio, Grant Sweeney. I like him as my top quarterback. It's so many things that he can do. He's got the size, he's got the arm. What I like, and I always call it this, and my son laughs at me when I do, is he's got that scoop to him too.
Yeah.
If he's got to get out, he can go. He can get out and go. He's like he's like Levi. Levi got that scoop to him too as well.
Yep.
I also want to shout out Rocco DeSanto over at New Braunfels.
Right.
Linebacker over at New Braunfels. 120 tackles.
Did you just say 120?
120 tackles last season. And the thing about it is, Rocco's listed at 5'7", 190.
Man.
120 tackles. Kingston's over there as well. Shout out Kingston Brown. He's over there at New Braunfels as well.
He's 5'7" with 120 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
What position?
Linebacker.
5'7", a linebacker?
Yep.
With 120 tackles?
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. That's over there at New Braunfels. Yep. And shout out Coach Mulder over there at New Braunfels. He always has them ready to play. They are
So let me ask you this, Brandon.
Play.
Since this is your district of doom and your neck of the woods, is this the year that New Braunfels can take the district and overcome Bernie, Liberty Hill, Alamo Heights?
Wow, that's one of the questions like I'd ask you and put you on the spot. That is a perfect question.
And the reason I'm asking, because the last time we had our district preview show with the Third Down Media crew, I brought this up and nobody could really give me a straight answer because New Braunfels always been on the cusp of making the state game and making really loud noises, but they just can't seem to like get over that hurdle for whatever reason. I don't know that program very well, but
and
you see them all the time. I mean, they're always 3-4 rounds deep.
Exactly. They are a great blend of, I think their coaching is underrated, but they are coached well. And they're another school that pays attention to their coaches. Like I gave the example.
Their players are coachable.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. They are not selfish at all. They are a team through
first.
And through. Yeah, they are a team through and through.
So do you think they can take Bernie and take that number 1 spot? Or has Bernie just got too much firepower?
I'm going with Bernie having too much because I think it's going to be leveled out with the coaching. And then when it comes to athlete on athlete, if they don't have anybody to necessarily shadow Grant to just make him a thrower, and then whoever you're going to use to shadow is now
you're one man down.
Yeah. And he's going to have guys that he can throw to, and they have size. And outside of Kingston, you're going to have to come up with 2 other DBs. And if you're outmanned and outsized, Grant's going to be able to pick you apart.
So let me ask you this. I was at our football practice this morning talking to our coach, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have, from 6A all the way down, to 2A specifically. High schools have traditionally played a mix, man and zone, but I've seen a big shift where a lot of defenses have just moved to straight zone. Do you think that's something that New Braunfels can do to mitigate that athlete on athlete, to maybe try to contain some of that? Do you see them doing something like that?
I think that is a natural adaptation to a lack of speed. Like, okay, we're gonna just play chess. We're gonna set our guys up here to where whatever you call it's going to have to be put around us. But I think that when it comes to that, you've got to have a defensive line for it.
Right.
You've got to be able to. Exactly. And if you don't have that, then you're flat-footed. And I say that because you're dealing with kids again who are playing a spot whose attention spans are going to be like, okay, I'm here. and then you're so reactionary. If you don't have different triggers that you're keyed in on, then you're just a cone.
Yeah.
And the
I-
people running around you are going to be going full speed.
Yeah. I've got Bernie as well. I just, outside of Bernie in this district specifically, I really like New Braunfels. I really do.
I really do too.
Yeah.
I definitely think that this is a district where someone's going to play each other twice.
Yeah. And I think the matchup between them, Adam, being that it's going to be whether it's home or away, whichever team, I think it's going to come down to coaching. That team is going to come down. And we've seen it here in San Antonio, and I hate to say it, but we've seen it here in San Antonio where coaches have the pieces to kind of change the playing field, and they don't make the right calls. And I hate to say that defensively.
Wait, hold on.
Defensively here in San Antonio,
insert foot.
Defensively here in San Antonio, this was in the past, I'll say over the past, maybe the past 6 years. And you'll probably know the games that I'm talking about. That some of these defensive schemes that they came up with was like, iffy, put it that way, iffy. Now the coaches, I don't want to say, it's like you get set in your ways. I'll put it that way. You get set in your ways.
Well, not necessarily set in your ways, but you always revert back to what you're comfortable with.
Right. But one coach that does not do that is Coach Hill.
Yeah.
That is the best coach for going in at halftime and coming back out, Coach Hill at Smith Valley. That is the best coach for going in at halftime and coming back out with an all-new plan to where you're like, did we just watch them in the first half? And now they're doing this. Yeah.
See, you're pulling out a Hill card to make your point.
That's my guy right there.
You're pulling out a Hill card.
I was starstruck at the Alamo Dome when you introduced me to him. That is one coach that I've always wanted to meet because I admire his coaching style. He is one of the top coaches in the state, and I had to meet him. But yeah, I had to because that's what it is.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this because I think I tried to disassociate while you were talking.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But am I being truthful? If you go over the past 6 years, let's go back 6 years. I have one in my head, but I'm not gonna say anything and this don't apply to all coaches. It only applies to who it applies to. But there's some that get stuck in their ways and they don't make the adjustments that they need to in game time situations. Yeah, it happens to everybody. But I think this game is gonna come down to that coaching. Because, like you said, Bernie has the weapons. They've got the quarterback. New Braunfels, they have.
So, can I ask you this question?
What you got?
Who's got the best home field advantage?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I've never seen Bernie at Bernie.
Really?
I've never seen Bernie at Bernie. I've seen New Braunfels at New Braunfels, and it's something about New Braunfels field that electrifies me because it's
the unicorns, baby.
It's different reasons because.
New Braunfels, it's like they're sitting in the middle of nowhere.
They know when to make these times for the games because that heat blinds you when you're on that visitor sideline.
See it sweltering up off the turf.
And it's
they're shaded. They are shaded.
And then it's like, well, that person, they're shaded. They're shaded in that one. But it's like the way that their field is set up at New Braunfels, it's like there's nothing around it except the stadium lights. And you've got that crowd that is there. They're not closer than any other field, but it seems like they are right on the backs of their home team. It's just loud and it's electrifying there as well. So who would you in that game, okay, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna put him on the second. This wasn't even part of the questions to ask.
I know what you want me to say.
If you had week 7 at Bernie, 7:00 game, week 7, we're looking at what? We're looking at end of September, beginning of October.
At second week in October.
Who do you have? Who would you give the edge to?
At Bernie between New Braunfels and Bernie?
Between New Braunfels and Bernie. Week 7.
Bernie.
At Bernie. I say the same thing. I would too. I think it would be a good game. It would be close. I think it would be close. It'd be a close game. But I think when I say close, I'm still saying I'd give the edge to him probably +7 for Bernie.
overall, because of the confines, I'm giving Alamo Heights the biggest home field advantage.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And also looking at Alamo Heights, I don't think there's going to be, besides the players that they lost and they've got to replace, the coaching's not going to change because Nerio is over there. So, I mean,
Right.
he's just stepping up into another role. So I think that's going to help them as well because they're familiar. They didn't have to go in and input a whole new system.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pieces that they have, if all that comes together and they find out, who's going to replace DK.
But different is different.
True.
New is new.
Different mindset, different everything. Yeah.
Exactly. Because with the change like that, we all can understand what a rhythm and game plan was and what it could be. And now you get to form your own painting of what you see this
Right.
team and this program as. So that's going to be the fun and interesting watch when it comes down to Alamo Heights this year. And that's what I'm interested in.
And seeing, yeah.
Just like anything, teams, coaches are not excluded in going through growing pains. There's a difference in being a passenger and then being in the driver's seat.
Mhm.
So I think that that's going to be one of the things that is intriguing to me, and that's might also be why I say Alamo Heights don't finish in third place, because this is going to be a growing experience for not only Alamo Heights, the football team, but the community as a whole, because
Yeah.
we understand that Alamo Heights is not just the players on the team.
Yeah. Well, before we shut this off, I do got to give a shout out. Cash Gatlin over at Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
D lineman over at Bernie, 128 tackles. I definitely want to give Cash a shout out as well over there at Bernie. He's a monster. All right, back to the questions before we jump into the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Before we jump into the meat and potatoes, let's see. What is the state of San Antonio area football?
Overall, transition. That's the word. The last 3 years, it's been transition. It's been the move from Steele to Johnson being number one, Smithson Valley getting over that hump,
Yep.
and the emergence of Piper, Davenport, Comal as
Yeah.
a entire football area. You've got Johnson, and then you have Brennan.
Yeah.
What is Brennan now? So I'd say that is a overall transition.
Okay. So that's the state of San Antonio football. And my thought would be for them is the state is progression. It has
Okay.
progressed from, like you said, 4 or 5 years ago to what it is now. There has been progression. And I think we're going in the right direction, and the athletes need to sustain that going forward. And I think that's going to happen because I think this 28, 29, even 30 that's coming up, classes of 28, 29, and 30 coming up, I don't think there's going to be much of a drop off. I think it may be some added players in there to where more eyes will be on the San Antonio area.
Right. You know what I'd like and what I would want more of is like hires like Coach Hughes at Judson.
Yeah.
I'd like a not a revamping, but just a additive. You know, sometimes you need fresh eyes on different situations. You know, one of the best things about situations is everybody doesn't view them the same. You know, you can go into different situations and have a understanding of what your view is from being from this area, but then those challenges don't seem like challenges when you have people coming from other spots, or uh, you have different ways of going about your processes that you can help influence those around you because you have that clout or that cachet of, hey, well, I tried this and this worked, or you know, just off of that conversation, you can be very motivating to something that's fresh because they may not be inundated with the history of.
Right. And I
So,
was gonna say that too. It's like Coach Hughes coming in is like a breath of fresh air to San Antonio football. Because let's just say a lot of your hires is from over here in San Antonio or promotion within. Now you've got somebody in bringing in a different philosophy, a different style that you're not used to. Now you've got to go back and you've got to watch tape from Austin. You got to watch tape from a team from Dallas or a coach from Dallas and see what they've done. So that's totally new to San Antonio area. Shout out to Coach Hughes though. I'm very, very interested and very I'm looking forward to speaking with him.
Have you met with him yet?
No, I talked to him on DM, but I haven't spoken to him yet. Why you got that smirk on your face? I know it's a smirk. Why you got this smirk on your face, man? I swear.
Oh, man.
I swear. What you got, Adam? Go ahead with one of yours.
All right, so let me ask you this. Talking a lot about teams. What's one team in San Antonio or the San Antonio area that you think is currently flying under the radar right now? A program or a team that you think is going to surprise people and make a deep playoff run?
I'm so glad you asked me this because I got to nerd out. I got to nerd out on this. It's Piper.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is Piper High School. Now, why I say this, let me get into my numbers. I'm going to be talking. Just put a hand up if you want to interrupt me. All right.
Nerd out.
So, Piper.
Is this the stat you were telling me you found?
Yeah, and the stat wasn't as amazing.
Okay.
But, but it's just a coincidence. But it all goes back to Piper. So Piper, the last 3 years, 12-2, 11-1, 8-5. Now you might say, why do you think that a school who went 8-5 is flying under the radar? It doesn't make sense. But I think that that's perfect sense for the changes that have gone on now. So, but then also you got to look at their losses. Their losses are only to Liberty Hill, Wimberley, Flower Bluff, Johnson, Davenport, Smithson Valley, and Bernie.
Oh, wow.
The last 3 years, that's their only losses. I would say that that's a pretty respectable list of teams that you've lost to. And the only team to beat them multiple times is Smithson Valley. And that was last year when they had 5 losses. And that's coming off of beating Smithson Valley in their very first game that they ever played. Piper, now they move up to 6A now. Okay, cool. Eddie Salas coming over from Harlan.
Shout out Coach Salas.
Harlan, let's go over them the last 4 years. Since 2023, I went back to 2023, 10-3, 12-1, 12-2, 11-1.
Wow.
So you got that coach bringing those records over here. Now, their losses, the last time, the only team to beat them in the last 2 years in district has been Brent.
Yeah.
That's the only team to beat them in district the last 2 years. And this is the stat that I ran into. The last 2 of the 4 state runners-ups had to go through Harlan in the 3rd round. Both times it was Vandergrift.
Yeah.
Each time Vandergrift went through Harlan, they made it to the state championship game. The last team that beat Harlan in the playoffs that didn't reach the state championship game but made it to the semis was Steele in 2024. Because they beat them here in Alamo Dome and then Steele lost to Summer Creek up at Baylor. And then I thought it was 3 out of 4 went to the state championships, but Dripping Springs lost in the 4th round. So that was their only other playoff loss, which was their 1 loss last year. So you have Eddie Salas who helped bring this Harlan program up to take over Brennan. And now you're going to a Piper program that kind of has that same, okay, we've dealt with Piper kids, right? They are confident, but they are the most confident and I'm an underdog, you're going to respect me type kids.
They've got a
and
chip.
they have a chip, and it is incredible to see because it doesn't necessarily affect their play. They play with the confidence, but they're under control. They're physical. They've had a fun offense to watch with previous Coach Baker and Coach Rogers, and now getting Coach Salas over there. I feel like he's going to see things in them and has experience from coming over from Harlan. He's going to see things in those athletes that I think they don't see in themselves. He's good at recognizing talent and using them in different ways. These kids are going to be tested. These kids are going to be honed into something that can shock people.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Very good.
Good deal. Okay, well, let's take it back to recruiting, and then with my last question. That's going to be a good one. But with the recruiting thing, what are some questions that college coaches ask you about players that they want information on? Players, athletes, y'all need to be paying attention to this.
Film's great. What do I have to worry about off the field?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the family. How much do you know about the family? That's basically it. I mean, because once you get them in front of the coach, all the questions after that are, hey, have you spoken with his dad? Have you spoken with his mom? What's going on with him at school? Like literally, that's more than 50% of the conversation is because you can have conversations with these coaches and they're going to verify. And
Absolutely.
if that verification is through myself or through other people, I do get kids in contact with schools and schools reach out to me for kids, but I am not risking anything to lie for a kid.
Absolutely.
You are putting
Absolutely.
you give me the information that I can use for schools.
That's a good question, RL.
Truth. That's truth. And I wanted to ask that so kids know. It's like, well, athletes and parents, so they would know this is the type of stuff they go to. It's like, and when you go on that visit, let's say you go on an OV. If you go on an OV, yeah, you're going in the room and your parents are there and you're talking football or whatever. But there's also conversations that coach is having outside the door
Mhm.
when you're not around mom and dad. Let's see what it's really about. And then there's
Yeah.
also times where coach sits down or coach stands back and he's watching how y'all eat lunch. There's a lot of little different things that I picked up on going on in OV, how coaches, they'll come and sit down and talk. And when they sit down and talk at lunch, they're talking to mom and dad. We got plenty of time to talk to him. You got a position coach that's going to talk to him. But when a head coach comes over and he sits down and he wants to talk to mom and dad, or you sit back and you look and you got 4 or 5 coaches that are standing around the outside and they're just making mental notes, seeing how everything's flowing. It's a lot of different things that goes into recruiting. And that's why I wanted to ask you that question, because you deal with a lot of coaches and a lot of programs. So this is stuff that kids need to know.
And then also the adage of, getting over what you do on the field very quickly. I remember watching a game with a coach on the sideline, and a player who he was there to see had a call against him that the player didn't like, and the player came over, and once he got on the sideline, he slammed his helmet down. And I'm standing next to the coach, and he's like this, and he looks over, and he's looking at him, and I'm like, man, I'm just seeing this offer go away right
Yep.
now. And then he comes back and he looks at me, and then he looks back over, and the player's back up on the sideline, has his helmet on, and you can tell he's still mad, but he's in tune to the game. And the coach looks at me and says, he got it out in one play. It didn't cost us. He didn't affect his teammates. He kept it to himself, and now he's back in the game. One
Yeah.
play to get it over with,
Yeah.
and now he's back locked in. So while in one instance I'm like, man, this kid's blowing it, the coach is like more honed in, as in like, okay, I get you're
Let's see
frustrated and mad. It didn't
Let's see how
cost
he
us.
does. Yeah.
You got over it.
Yeah.
You're back in there. So,
That's a good
I mean,
That's a good take right there. That's a good take to
exactly.
post. Yeah, that's a good take
Exactly.
to post there. All right, Adam, go ahead with one of yours, man. Let's keep him
Man,
rolling.
we've already answered a couple of mine. Let's go into the District 6A.
Okay. Well, before we go into this, I'll go ahead and ask my other question. Who are your top 5 programs in the area?
Top 5 programs in the area,
In the area. Who are the top 5? And
regardless of classification, like just
regardless of classification, I just want to see who are the top 5 programs. And when I say, and you know what I mean when I say programs, I'm talking about everything, how it all comes together. Who would be your top 5?
Smithson Valley,
Definitely.
Steele,
Mm-hmm.
Johnson, Brennan. I don't want to reach. Bernie's safe.
Okay, well, what would be your honorable mention then? Bernie's pretty safe.
I
Yeah,
go
Bernie's safe.
Davenport.
Mm-hmm.
I go Davenport.
It's a good top 6.
Yeah.
And then then you go into your Alamo Heights, but then I think just necessarily those teams that are going to make deep playoff runs as far as programs go, yeah, that's my top 5.
Now, would those 5 be your same for, if you were to put it as, who would be your consistent programs?
They've definitely Davenport would be the only new addition, but I think we've had a conversation in the past when I thought Davenport would have won state a couple years back. So I would definitely say, yeah, they are consistent, but Johnson is the newest because they've come up. Maybe Johnson and Brennan have switched as far as levels with Steele because Steele's been up there. Now you got Johnson that's just a little bit above Brennan, and then we'll see how. I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but I really like Brandeis too.
Yeah.
But as far as consistent, yes, Johnson being the newer squad, but also they were winning back when Ritterman was there too. So
Good deal. Okay. All right. We're going to go up to 5A Division 1, 14 5A Division 1. This is one that we hadn't talked about much. And it's some teams in here from the San Antonio area that I think need some light shined on. And this here is 14 5A Division 1. We've got Jay MacArthur, Martin, Medina Valley, Nixon, South San, Southside, and Wynn. So you've got Dave Campbell's. They've got Medina Valley. They've got John Jay. They got Laredo Nixon, and they have Southside. What is your take on that district?
I think they got it right. Because if you remember last year, Nixon messed up my bracket, so I had to do my
put it in
had to
shambles.
I had to get New Braunfels on them to get them out of here because they messed up my bracket.
Yeah.
So
Can't
it
be
was
having no
one of-
messed up brackets.
exactly. So
what are
I'm
your
gonna have to go
thoughts?
back and watch that one. That was a good one. That was a
So
funny
what
one.
are your thoughts on, and I want to bring this up. I didn't say this to you before, but I want to bring this up to you because I really looked at them more when we started talking about them before, maybe a couple weeks ago. What are your thoughts on Medina Valley?
Medina Valley is now the new. Who was it? I'm missing. There was a school, Seguin. Because Seguin players used to be in my DM saying, "You're not talking about Seguin. You're not talking about Seguin." And then all of a sudden, Seguin starts doing their thing, that crazy offense. And I'm starting to pay attention. I'm seeing what's going on. Medina Valley is the same way. Medina Valley had a great year last year, and I think that they took advantage of what they had, and they had a very good record. And I think that them winning district this year, I'd like to see them. I'm gonna have to look at Jay's squad because, of course, their coach is now in Seguin and quarterback, and I have Medina Valley winning that, but
Yeah,
I
I
just
do too.
hesitate because Coach Campbell at Jay is. You realize Bazer's got coaches all over right now. So, and that's another.
The
I'ma
Popovich of
say
San Antonio High School.
I'm gonna say Baser Beast, because man, I'm not gonna put nothing past Coach Campbell. I think that he's a very inspirational coach whose players love him. And him going to John Jay, I think that was a really good fit of when if you have a new coach coming in, those kids are gonna be at attention because he did come from Brennan, and he himself as a player was a hard-nosed guy. So I think that that's gonna stand out to him because he's gonna be able to speak to them and show him that he's got the skins on the walls for it too. So when it comes down to that in that district, I do have Medina Valley winning that, but I wouldn't look past Jay of being just inspired.
I say same thing.
And then Nixon and Southside, I roll with Coach Locke, so
yeah,
I like that.
we've got the exact same thing. I got the same thing. Medina Valley, I do like what they've got going on over there. I hope it keeps going on. But the one player out of this district that you think is next level, who would that be?
Braden Booth at South San.
Braden Booth at South San.
That didn't take you long at all to come up with that one.
No. He's
Because
a D lineman and wide
he's-
receiver.
Huh?
It says D lineman and wide receiver, 6'6", 220 pounds, runs a 4.5. Braden is a large.
Hold up.
A 4.5 is too slow.
You said 6'6",
6'6". Braden
Two-
Booth,
220,
220. Yeah,
and runs a
that's what they
4.5.
have. 4.5. And Brandon just said he thinks that's too slow.
If you look at his huddle, he's not a 4.5. That is 4.3. Like
At 6'6", 220?
Yeah, he's
this
special.
kid.
He's
This
special.
kid.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
moving.
It's moving, and
That is a
I'm
lot of
surprised
human
to see
being
him
moving.
I'm surprised, but
Well, that's
hey,
what Phil has him at. Phil has him listed with Dave Campbell's D
that's
line
cool.
/
I'm
receiver.
cool. I'm cool
Coach
with it
Barone. Coach
because
Barone has him listed there.
he's got plenty of footage running people down from 20, 30 yards away to where I know people can't catch him if he's running away from him. So,
Yeah.
Can you
but
imagine though? Do they run a spread?
man, they've got to put stuff. No, not a
But
spread.
I was gonna say because if they ran a
no, Adam, to ask the question that you're going to ask, you'd have to look at the pieces.
I'm just
And
thinking
with-
like
Now,
with a kid like that,
Coach
regardless
Barone,
of the pieces you have around you, a kid
Coach
that
Barone, if he
size-
was at a different school that had those pieces, yes, I think he'd be successful at a spread.
but
This one
but
here, you
here's-
got to play with the talent that you've got, and I think
get-
he has it toned into where they're successful at what they do with what he's got.
not
Phil
knowing
brings
that
it out of-
program and what they have.
Yeah,
Right.
If you have a kid that size, that
Yes.
fast, put him at
Yes.
tight end and have him matched up against linebackers and
Yes.
exploit the middle of the field.
in
Braden,
that
That's a
district,
that is a
in that
nightmare
district, I'm putting him at wide receiver.
yes,
at that district.
In that district,
nothing is stopping it.
as long as you can throw it 40, 45 yards in the air,
That's
In
the
the
quarterback's
air
best
and let him
friend.
go
Just
get it.
throw it and
Yes.
just head top everybody.
Can you
you know-
imagine if he was at Alamo Heights?
well, I mean, he wouldn't be receiver. He wouldn't be receiver.
No, he wouldn't be receiver, but he could definitely play tight end at Alamo Heights because they've always had a big tight end over there. Always had a 6'4", 6'5" tight
Yeah.
end over there, but they've never had. Well, they ain't ever had one that fast though.
No.
Man, that's
Never.
But
had
yeah,
one that
he's-
fast.
He's incredibly freaky. And he's also the answer to one of the questions that you asked earlier about the difference in recruiting. He's one of those recruits who has the ability of waiting around to have his choice of schools that he can go to, and it's not seen as if he's playing the field or anything
Yeah.
like that. He's just taking his time.
He's a
He's
freak.
got some
He's a freak athlete. He's 6'6", running a 4.3. Yeah,
Can't teach
he's
that.
a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definite. Well, that's 14. That's 14.5A. So the next one we go to, let's go 13.5A. Was it 13.5A? Yeah, 13.5A. We got Anderson, Cedar Creek, Bernie Champion, Kyle Lehman, Lockhart, Maynard, McCallum, Seguin, and SV. Dave Campbell's has it SV, Bernie Champion, Anderson, and Seguin.
That's
What
how
are
I
your
have it,
thoughts?
too.
What are your attitude? What is your thoughts on this district? Yeah, I know, but put it on record.
He's like
Put it
he's
on
like
record so we
enough
have
said.
it. Put
He's
it
like
on
enough,
record so
enough
we
said.
have it.
Enough
I
said.
already know. It's like it.
Let me ask you this. I think we all agree Smithson Valley's
Yeah.
top of the top.
Yeah.
How do you see the Smithson Valley Bernie champion game playing out? Because I think those are the two teams in that district.
I've scheduled that one. I've scheduled.
Now, I don't.
That's the one to see.
No
Yes.
offense to Seguin and the other schools in that district, but that district's
They
going to come down
play-
to that game, Smithson Valley and
They
Bernie
play
champion.
week
So how do you-
4. They play week
Mhm.
4.
so that's their first district game is
They
against
play
each other.
week 4 on a Saturday.
I may
Week
have to.
4 on a Saturday.
What's the
And
date
they're
of that one,
playing.
Mario?
That's the 19th
Of September.
of September, and they're playing at Bernie.
I can't go. I was going to say
That is a top 10 quarterback matchup. Julian
Yep.
versus
Versus
Ty.
Ty. Yep. Versus Ty.
do you
on a
think
Saturday
champions got enough juice to squeeze out a win on that one? Oh, really?
No. No, I don't.
Because they're playing
But-
at Bernie.
If
Yeah.
there's a football field, Smithson Valley's winning.
I'm gonna have to play that one back just for that comment right there.
yeah.
Fair enough.
And I'm
It's
high
just-
on Julian. I'm high on Julian, their quarterback.
Exactly.
I'm high on him. That's it. He's a lefty and he can move. He's smart. He has an arm. He is accurate. I get that, but it's Smithson Valley.
He's my guy.
I'm like, yeah, Julian's a great kid. I love that. I love everything about his game, but it's like it's Smithson Valley, and that machine over there is
Fair enough.
Ty
there's-
runs that machine.
I agree. I
T.
just part of me deep down inside, because Smithson Valley is so good and Ty is so good and the weapons around him are so good. I want to see Champion win it. I just don't think they can. I'd love to
Man,
see
Do you
Champion
know what?
pull the upset.
You know what? You know what doesn't make Smithson Valley winning so much boring to me is the fact that from week to week, they can beat a team in a different way.
Yes.
And you will want to see, you can look at them win a game and be like, yeah, but the quarterback didn't even do what he did last week. I wanted to see him do that again. But
Yep.
that's not what it called for.
Yep.
What I was going to say,
And
the thing I enjoy about Smithson Valley is how they win.
right, right. Like, and it's just like, you know, like you said, making adjustments at halftime. Coach Hill, you know, he's the master of doing that, and it's just incredible how he can have them looking like a totally different team. And if there's a way to beat you, then the team's fine with switching up whatever their personal goals might be,
Yeah.
and they become what's necessary to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
That's perfect.
All right.
Well-
6A, bro. 6A.
We are moving to the meat and potatoes. We're gonna
Mhm.
jump
Big
into
boys.
29. Yep, meat and potatoes. 29 6A for the San Antonio area is Brennan, Harlan, Holmes, Marshall, O'Connor, Sotomayor, Stevens, Taft, and Warren. Dave Campbell's has it Brennan, Harlan, Sotomayor, and Warren. What's your take, Mr. Damone?
I'm gonna give it to Brennan, then Harlan,
Mm-hmm.
then Soto, and we talked about this last time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
not
remember.
gonna.
I remember what you said because mine was
I
different.
got my and I said Warren.
Yep.
So I'm
And
gonna
I
stick
said,
with that.
I said Stevens.
I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah,
You did say
I think-
Stevens
I
on the
think that-
last episode.
yeah.
I'ma
I
stick
said
with that.
Stevens. I like the pieces that they're coming up with over there. And like you said, any given Friday, and I think Stevens is they're due. They're due. They have been without over there for so long. They started off well, then they had that drought, and I think they're starting to make a
Mhm.
comeback. So I would say that in there. Now, who would be your player in this district that we need to look out for? Like that, like I said, this district here has some powerhouses for years. They've been there. Brennan and Harlan has been there.
You could literally
O'Connor
go
was
down
there.
through those top couple teams. Like,
Yeah.
all right. The only thing with this district is I think that top three might be interchangeable depending on the best quarterback play. All three teams will have new quarterback.
Yep.
All three teams will have. All right, y'all want to. It's not crazy, but it's just off the cuff, right? Maybe the best linebacker core is Sotomayor.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a better defense than Brennan. Their secondary could rival Steele's secondary,
Mm-hmm.
but Brennan overall with Baser, I think Baser in defense is like Smithson Valley in just football, period.
For real.
They can constrict you. They've got a leader in Aiden Martin over there, who's the prime example of how we were just talking about Braden Booth and being able to do different things. Aiden Martin could do everything from defensive end to linebacker to cornerback to safety. He's going to be a linebacker in college, but you look at him and he looks like he could be a defensive end in high school easily.
Yeah, he could.
You look at Harlan, Deshaun Simmons, the best player for 2028.
Monster.
Becker had played D-line. Incredible. And then Aiden Palmer in the secondary at Harlan.
Yeah.
They've got parts and pieces, but I really want to see them put it together. I really want to see Harlan put it together because they could blow everything up. This is going to be a fun district to watch, a physical district to watch.
And I think this is the district that I have, me personally, to where this really makes my schedule fluid because there's going to be some games in this district that I'm going to have to look at other games and I'm be like, you know what? I've got to catch this game. I've got to see what these players, and they've got the players to do it. All of those teams
Right.
have players on both sides of the ball that you really want to get eyes on and you want to see. So it's
Right.
really like it's must see TV because
Right.
some of these games will be tough. It's must see TV. This must see Friday night games. That's 29. That's 29 6A. We're gonna skip that one.
Can I
we're
go
gonna-
grab my charger real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
My phone's
go for
gonna
it.
die. All right.
Go for it.
So
Making sure those are-
Adam, with the district, let's just talk about the district that we just talked about. The coach that's at Piper, He just came from Harland. Coach Baser is a defensive guru over at Brennan. Brennan has always been the top of that district. Battle with Harlan. O'Connor used to be a big time in that district, and they've fallen off. But there is, like I said, if I was to pick my top player for that district, it would be Deshaun Simmons. He's a D lineman over at Harlan. And Deshaun is a complete monster. He was, I believe, I'll have to ask Brant, but I think last year he was injured. So that's why he didn't play last year. But Deshaun is a 4-star, 6'3", 230-pound linebacker, edge player.
That's a good size.
He didn't play last year because he was injured, right? I think it was last year. I think it was. But I mean, I'm looking at it here, and the first team that comes up is FSU, Florida State. So he's gonna be a monster there. And I think really, since we're talking about it, I think this district's gonna come down to, like you said, they've all got to fit in new quarterbacks. But I think the trenches, they've all got the DBs. They've all got a secondary there's nothing to shake a stick at. They're all decent. Who's going to have those best trenches to provide that safety and the rush?
The best offensive player is
I don't
that's
know
your
what you're talking
boy.
about. That may have been the guy that we mentioned on the show a few times, Mr. Jay Mitchell.
Jay Mitchell.
Maybe Mr. Jay Mitchell. And it's gonna be interesting to see him cut loose this year. It's gonna be very interesting.
In which, when it comes to overall playing and how I have Brennan edge, that defense can play to a run game.
Which is exactly why I have them scheduled for the first week. I'm going to see Jay Sean in week 1. And they're playing EC. That's why I gotta go. Yes, exactly. I want to go see him against EC and go see Coach Hub and see how that goes. They're playing at Harlan. I hope they're not playing at Ferris. Maybe. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be playing at Ferris.
Yeah, that's gonna be Ferris.
Yeah, they're gonna be playing at Ferris for that game. But yeah, I've got him. I got him scheduled for week 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
EC.
Well, we're gonna skip. We're not gonna go down the line. We're gonna go over to 27-6A next.
Okay.
27-6A. That is Cibolo Steel, Clemens, EC, East Central, Judson, New Braunfels Canyon, Piper, San Marcos, and Wagner. Preface it by saying Dave Campbell's has it Steel, Piper, Clemens, and Judson. What is your take on this district, Mr. B. Damone?
Steel, Piper, New Braunfels Canyon, and East Central for me. Like I said, I look at East Central in this district just like how we look at Roosevelt.
Wait, say that again. What was yours again?
Mine was Steel, Piper, New Braunfels Canyon, East Central.
New Braunfels Canyon, East Central. Okay.
And I just like the talent over at East Central with Coach Hubbard. That's a school I feel like we're on repeat when it comes to it. He's good situationally. I've seen him push Steel to the brink at home. It's just I think that he has enough in that district, and knowing that district, that he'll be able to get that 4th playoff spot. I like Canyon for their linebackers.
Shout out Coach Mac Sauce.
Yeah, and their quarterback.
Yes.
So
yes.
And then Piper, like I was just talking about, with Salas going over there. And while I also say how I was talking about Alamo Heights having schools, moving down and they're going to be looking people eye to eye, I don't think Piper is set in a mindset of where they've been dominant to where a school like Steel is going to be. It's going to be cool to play them, but this is a school that's been playing at Smithson Valley. So, playing a powerhouse school is something that I feel these kids feel like they should be doing because that's what they know. So I think they're all looking forward. And that's going to be at Steel, if I'm not mistaken.
Piper.
Oh, it's at Piper?
Week 5 is at Piper. Friday night at Piper. That's must see. That's must see.
That is.
You going to that one?
That is
definitely.
must see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get with RL so we can get in the press box.
running joke he has, running joke. But I got to be there at that game. And I really think, since we're talking about this district, I think Coach Salas coming in with his record and his history of what he does for players, I think that's really going to excel Carson on what Carson does. Carson did everything he did last year with a broken hand. Now he comes in at full strength, and Carson is a monster. Carson is a monster. He is. He really is. He has the speed and the size to go with it. But I really love the way Carson attacks the ball in the air. If it's up there, it's another one that's an underclassman that attacks the ball like Carson does, but Carson is bigger, so he attacks it better. But it's like when he attacks that ball in the air, he goes up and he has such strong hands that he comes down with the football. And I think Coach Salas being over there is really going to help Carson a lot.
See, I don't want to trash talk, but it's such a good game that I'm already thinking of what are they going to do if. So when you say that,
okay,
I know
who's going to guard
how
him.
great
Who would you put on him?
one of
them, right? But who would you put on him now?
so
Because you already know Signs and Green, we're gonna match up. We're gonna match up and go.
am I gonna match up and play head? See, am I gonna match up and play head games with him, or am I gonna give him different look? Do I have a DB in my room who's like,
We'll
I
talk
got him,
offline.
coach?
We'll talk offline.
Do I have a DB in my room?
Yeah.
Play whatever defense you want, coach. I got him.
Yeah. I think you've really got, well, with what is Carson, 6'3"?
Yeah.
Carson's 6'3". You've got, I say, 3 of them that can match up with it out of their 4 they have in the secondary. I say you've got 1 that can play him, but match up with him. I think they got 4. I mean, they got 3 that can match up with him to where it'd be like, okay, you stay over there on him. Wherever he goes, that's where you are. You stay with him. I think out of 3 of their 4 can match up with him like that.
So all this to say, who's going to be the second or third guy to step up for Piper?
Right.
Who's going to be the second or third? Because look, I'm pretty sure Ohio State thinks when they played Texas, oh, Jeremiah Smith's going to get his.
Yeah.
He ain't 8 in 2 years.
Yeah.
Against Texas.
Yeah.
So who is going to be number 2 to step up?
That's who we're going to be looking for. That's who we're going to be looking to see. What does Silas have up his hat? What does he have in his hat over there to bring it out of those players and see who's going to step up? So Piper, hey, we're going to be there. I tell you right now, we're going to be there watching that one. We want to see what it's going to turn out to be. Yep, coach, I'm coming. Coach, I'm coming. So out of this district, we already gave the names of them. I got 2 questions.
Yeah.
First is the original question. Who is your athlete in this district to look out for? And who is one team that you think could creep up on somebody, this team, and make some noise?
Of not my playoff squads, it's going to be Judson.
Yeah.
And I will go with a player that I don't have on my 5 players list to know as the athlete in this district as well, who I think is going to have a quarterback who's going to be able to get him the ball, and that from what I saw had pretty good chemistry and practice, and that's Jamari Bowens. So, I mean, the
Adam,
maturity,
6'5",
maturity
220
in
receiver,
hands,
tight end.
the maturity in hand is a must this year for the offers that he's garnered. So this is where, okay, you've got these offers, you can attain more. Now you've got to show it to keep it. There's a congratulations in getting the offers.
Yeah.
But there's maintaining and keeping the interest of those schools. And I guarantee you that he's got the ability to do that. Now he's got the quarterback to couple it. You could see where his numbers from last year will look like a little blip. And it's like, yeah, well, then he ended up performing. Coaches got their eyes on him in person. And that's where the offers are coming from because they see the potential there. And he showed out at camps. So now it's going to be him in district on the field against respected schools. He's in a respected district at one of the historic respected schools in the state.
This will really boost his recruiting if he shows out because he ain't playing against no names or whatever. He's playing against competition. I think really,
dudes.
Yeah, he's playing some dudes. And in this district, I would really say that this can all be messed up if Judson plays because Judson has speed. Judson has speed. They've got the size. They have the pedigree or whatever. They've got a new coach coming in, new philosophy. I think he's changing a bunch of stuff over there that's going to benefit them. I'm interested to see what that D-line and the O-line look like. For the past couple years, they've been a little on the smaller end from what we're used to at Judson. They've been on the smaller end. I'm interested to see what those two will do. But I'm interested to see what Judson does with that offense because they've got some speed over there.
And
that-
they've got other receivers. I
Yeah, they
mean,
do. They've all got 4.5, 4.4 speed at their receiver spots. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. I think they're scheduled week 5 as well. I'm going to go see the Hammer Bowl, them and Wagner. Now, drum roll, please. This
Well,
is the
shaking the can.
one that we have talked about and debated back and forth, Adam, because this right here is District 28 6A in San Antonio.
Okay.
Brandeis, Churchill, Clark, Johnson, Lee, Madison, Reagan, Roosevelt. Dave Campbell's has it. Johnson, Reagan, Brandeis, Roosevelt. What is your take on this district, Mr. Damone?
This is where Dave Campbell's got it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dave Campbell's went off names and yeah, they needed to look a little deeper because there's some changes I made in there too. But how do you have it?
I got it. Johnson, Brandeis, Reagan, Clark.
Yeah, we changed the bottom there because I chose Churchill.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, they didn't have it right up there. And the
So
main
now-
one that they didn't was Reagan. I don't think Reagan's number 2.
Like Johnson, Brandeis,
That's must see.
that is must see. Reagan gets respect for that 3rd spot because just like last year, you can start off 0-3, and they very well may start off 0-3 again. But it's like that's their preseason because when district comes, those other games didn't matter.
Yeah.
If you win your district,
We're battle
then-
tested too.
you know, like so that's why I feel Reagan will be there because just the coaching, the players. That's another well-coached program that went under a coaching change. So now they're all settled in for that 2nd year, and it's going to be more the same.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, they are playing in week 6.
Yeah.
The 2nd of October. But the
Brandeis
same day,
Johnson, right?
Brandeis Johnson, that's week 6. Friday night at Northeast. Same day, Davenport Tivy.
Which one
Same
you going
day.
to?
Oh,
Churchill
no, that's
I'm
not.
going
That's
going
not.
Judson.
Nah,
I'm going Johnson, Brandeis.
Johnson.
Churchill, Reagan. All on that day. And then
Some
on
big games.
Yeah. It can be. Like I said,
Right.
the schedule is fluid. But that is
Right.
definitely one that is I wrote that one in ink. That's not in pencil. That one's in ink.
But then-
Johnson Brandeis.
But then like how we said, that's the prediction. But the dark horse, Roosevelt.
Yeah. That is true.
If
It's like-
Roosevelt if Roosevelt is clicking, 2nd place isn't out of reach. And
you think
that's
they could battle?
Brandeis.
They could battle with Brandeis.
I think they can battle with Brandeis. Like I said, if they are clicking,
Yeah, if they're clicking, they
if
have
they are clicking,
Adam. Roosevelt is a team that has talent all over the place, but they've got to do this.
Got to get it together.
And if they get it together and start clicking at the right time, like after that week 3, they start clicking and you see something turn on with them, Roosevelt can make some noise. They've got pieces there. They've got what I call lightning and thunder at running back. That can be a problem. They got what is considered to me the best O lineman in the city over there as well, Caden Scott. I think, and they've got Coach Barnes over there
yeah,
as coach. I think, like you said, if it turns on for them and everything comes together, they stay healthy, they buy into the system, and they come together as a team, they can make some noise in that district.
right,
Even with Brandeis and Johnson.
right.
Even with Brandeis and Johnson. So who out of this district, who is your player that we need to know about?
Oh wow! Out of this district,
There's plenty to pick from. I mean, there's plenty of them to pick from.
I'm gonna go with the person that can control the ball for a team that I think is going to be very dangerous, and that's Winter Smith. Winter Smith, quarterback at Brandeis. There's not another player who has more weight on their shoulders for the performance of what their team can do on offense than him.
Yeah.
Because
And he's such a big
of-
part of their offense, being that he's quarterback,
Exactly.
is throwing and he's already shown he's an athlete. He can scoot. He can run it. He can run
Exactly.
it as well. So
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's the one to keep an eye on because Brandeis lives and dies with his performances.
yep,
He does have more around him this year, and that's what makes it so exciting about them is because those pieces are getting better. I've been seeing these kids train in the off season so much, so it's got me excited for what can be, and the fact that he's been honing his arm, his legs are fine.
yeah,
His
yeah,
understanding of that offense is great. And like I said, he's the best quarterback in the city when it comes to being in the mesh. Because if you commit too much, he's throwing. If you're back too far, he's big enough to truck you and he's fast enough to run by you. 6'2", might be 3 now,
hmm
205, ripped. Like he's not a small kid.
I hope this year, and this is the year that I'm definitely going to talk to him and talk to my buddy about him as well. I don't want to see him trucking. I don't want to. I know the competitive juices get to flowing,
Right.
but I want him to be smarter. The way that he runs the ball, he took way too many hits last year.
Right.
In my opinion, I want him to go and practice with the baseball team, sliding into second base, or step out of bounds.
I've heard that
Yeah.
piece of advice before, RL.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that definitely comes from confidence because of his size and him
Mhm.
just going straight the shortest distance.
Yeah.
Cause he's not one to find the angle and keep going at that angle. He'll find the angle and then go straight.
Yeah.
If he's got you beat, he's going straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, he needs to make the sideline his friend for sure. But I definitely see him as being one who fakes going to the sideline and then hits the defender. like I
And I
see
don't.
that.
That's one thing I
Yeah.
don't want to. Being that I
Yeah.
watch Poncho doing that. I when you see that sideline, go ahead and step
If you
out.
can if you can save your physicality, save your physicality.
Yes, you never know how that angle of you getting hit, and then
Mhm.
you mess up a shoulder or you tweak a knee or you tear something in your knee. I've just seen it. No, you're too valuable. And like you said, you've heard that before. 'Cause I told Levi that he's too valuable. You can't take those. You can't take those unnecessary hits. Get that slide in or get out of
Right.
bounds. Well, this here was one of my favorites. Talking about San Antonio football, y'all. We covered from top to bottom, 4A down to the meat and potatoes, which is a 6A. Adam, you got anything? First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, B.
Yeah,
Damone, for coming
so-
on, talking
Oh,
with
yeah.
us.
We still got some player names I gotta give
Well,
y'all. I didn't
hey,
know
Oh,
if
yeah,
y'all-
yeah.
So here's how I want to end the episode.
Okay.
So we'll start by you giving everybody your socials for those that may not know you.
Okay.
Everybody,
Go ahead.
everybody know
I
him.
know, but he's a guest.
It's
We gotta let
it's on
him.
billboards
let him-
all over the city.
We gotta let him give his socials out. So give us your socials, and then we're gonna go rapid fire.
Okay.
I want your 3 to 5 players,
Okay.
just rapid fire. Who they are, what school they're at, what classification they're at.
Okay.
And these are just for the podcast. These are the 3 to 5 players in the state of Texas of San Antonio that everybody needs to know before the season starts.
Gotcha.
So under the radar players, 3 to 5, flying under the radar, their name, their school, their classification,
Okay.
and position.
Beat them on. Brandon Holland, everybody. If you need to get in contact with me, follow me on X or Twitter at BDamone, BDAMMONE, 2MONE. On Instagram, follow me at Along the Wire, at Along the Wire. And that's where you can find me at. Make sure you send me your huddles. Make sure you are paying attention to when I put that I'm watching film because I search from 3A or less or wherever the talent is, I'm there to see it.
Yep.
And I want to see it. And I'm all about making sure that y'all are seen by every program that I have connections with in the country. And if you can get that education by football, then that's just what it's going to be with me. And I'm just here to help 24/7.
It's awesome. All right, rapid fire, 3 to 5 players.
Rapid fire. Okay. 2027, just said his name, Winter Smith Brandeis. Make sure you know who Winter Smith is from Brandeis High School. 6'2", 205 pounds, Brandeis High School. Carlos Griff, Southwest High School, 6'4", 185 pounds, 10'8", 100-meter receiver. 2028, Jameer Lawrence, 2029. Watch out for this kid. Jameer Lawrence at East Central, 6'2", 190 pounds,
Yeah.
just broke the school's plate jump record. I didn't get exactly what it is, but this kid is already built, and I saw him in practice. Incredible kid, stands out. Couldn't believe he was a 29. And for the 2030 class, you've seen this kid. He got a UTSA off 2030. Ronnie Lee Jr. going to Juts, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, 75-inch wingspan,
Different.
and he is on a lot of teams' radars. And I'm looking forward to what this kid can do at Judson. 2030, Ronnie Lee Jr.
Awesome.
He's different.
Well,
Yeah.
Brandon, I can't thank you enough for joining us on this podcast and this episode tonight, highlighting y'all's love, San Antonio, and all the great programs that are down there and the players that are down there. So thank you for joining. As
Thank you
always,
so much for having me.
Absolutely. As always, guys, it's been another incredible episode of Between the Hashes, your Texas high school football podcast. Until next time, gig 'em.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Friday night, Texas sky. We lit, house packed out, whole town in it, pace crash hard. Heartbeat sync, this that show that make you think. Under them lights, we don't play, we ball. From the small town fields to the big state calls. We talk rivalries, legends, up next kings. Breakdowns, hot takes, all them rings. Turn it up, don't miss this drive. Texas high school dreams, so loud, so loud, so loud. You tuned in now, right that way. This the part they crave every Friday. Welcome to the show where the big